Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
So, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is April Edwards, and I have a blog. I have a Substack. I have 4 kids that I've homeschooled all the way through. And what else about me? We have a small urban farm in Phoenix, Arizona. I do a lot of volunteer work, and I am an avid reader. So I have invited Brooke here today to do a Substack Live with me because we want to talk about creativity and reading and the creative life and something unique about both Brooke and I is we have older kids. Her kids are older than mine, but um, it kind of just the idea of going back into education for ourselves and not because we're forced to for each other is kind of a fun topic that we both share. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited about our conversation. Brooke, why don't you tell us more about yourself?
Okay. First, April, thank you so much for having me. This is a lot of fun. My name is Brooke Zoller. I write the Substack at the Pondering Scotty. I am a mom of 2 sons. They are grown and both married. I am also the proud grandmother of 2 and 1 coming in June. So, very excited about that. And being a Mimi, I also get to watch them 2 days a week. Like April, I'm an avid reader and I enjoy being creative and being a lifelong learner.
Cool. Exciting. Yes. Brooke and I connected through Substack somewhere. Maybe we found each other in the comments or what, but
Yes.
her and I have been chatting on the side and also through comments and stuff back and forth for a
Yeah.
while. And it's
Yes.
been really fun to get
It
to know you.
has.
And
Absolutely. Same here.
something I like about you is just how encouraging you always are and
Mm.
how kind you are with your comments. It's very refreshing. It's nice to experience that. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
so what does so you're not homeschooling anymore. You did for
No.
how long?
We homeschooled for 15 years,
Okay.
from the preschool up to the high school level.
Awesome.
And just loved
Awesome.
it. It was such a good fit for our family.
That's so awesome. So, um, I know during those homeschool years, you're learning a lot alongside the kids, at least that's
Mhm.
been my experience, and
Yes.
you're pushing yourself to learn subjects kind of ahead of them, but also alongside them, and,
Yes.
but then once you're not learning alongside them anymore, what does learning look like for you? What does lifelong learning look like as a mom that's no longer homeschooling?
Mm. Well, that's a great question. I think it's just being willing to learn new things at each stage, at each role that you're in. From like being now I'm a grandma, I'm also a mother-in-law, and being willing to and an empty nester. So just being willing to learn new things in those roles, and yeah, that's what I would say.
Cool. So, what are some things that you're curious about lately? Like, what have you been tackling in your learning life that, like, maybe some topics or some books or genres?
Okay. Well, actually, this year I've just been feeling like the Lord has been leading me to paint more. So just getting out the watercolors and acrylics more. I enjoy reading. I do enjoy reading a lot of nonfiction books, but I actually kind of have to force myself to read the fiction, or to read the fiction books. So, but I'm amazed at how much you can learn. Sometimes there's nuggets of truth and things in a fiction book, and
Mhm.
I'm always amazed that you can pick up the book and it's always like the right time that you needed to
Mhm.
to hear that or read that. So, yeah, but just I think just always being curious and allowing yourself to follow those curiosities, I think is a really good mantra for being a lifelong learner.
Mhm. I love that you've shared some of your watercolor and stuff on
Yeah,
Substack in your notes, and there was like a sunset, I think, that you did recently, right?
a moon, actually.
Oh,
It was
okay.
early morning, and the full moon happened to be out as the sun was rising, and the sky was really pastel pink, and then these flock of geese happened to fly by, and I'm like, "Oh, there's my painting inspiration for today."
So did you take, like, a picture with
I
your
did
phone,
not. I
or
did
did you
not.
just, like, mentally capture that?
I did. I
Okay,
did. Yep. Yep, I
that's so
mentally
fun.
captured it. Yeah, yeah. And nature inspires me a lot with my writing, with my painting. I
Mhm,
would say that's probably my number one inspiration in being, in my creative endeavors.
mhm. You and your husband travel a lot, right?
We do. We
And
do.
so
And that is too. That will inspire creativity either with like a place that we visit or the people that we meet. Yeah, I'll often write about that.
mhm. I've noticed that some of your stories start with stories of your travels and
Yeah, yeah, because 'cause I'm just inspired. I think I'm a little bit more relaxed, when we travel, so I'm more receptive to, you know, hearing people's stories and taking the time.
mhm, soaking in the ideas. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Dee is commenting that you have beautiful art and she loves your paint.
Oh, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Um, so what were the interests that you set aside during your busy parenting years that you're returning to now? Did you
Well
do art when you were a young mom or when you had younger kids?
well, definitely creative, but,
Okay.
I did some scrapbooking. I did several scrapbooks back in the day, but I didn't paint. So that's kind of some things that I've set aside. And I didn't well, I said I started out not writing, but then I did do a blog. I had a blog that I kept kind of private. It didn't really go anywhere. So that's
Mhm.
what Substack then it became kind of like, okay, this is another experiment. And I didn't keep it so private. And I'm like, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. And gracious, kind, fun, sweet people have found me and seem to like, you know, the creative things that I'm, displaying and sharing. So I I just keep doing that then.
That's exciting. That's fun. Um, how do you protect space for writing or creative work without turning it into pressure?
Mm. Um, Probably by not putting any pressure on myself to do it like in a time limit. Or saying or maybe even setting a goal, like, that I have to do so many paintings or I have to do so many posts, or I try to send out a post a week on Substack, but, um, if I felt like I wasn't inspired or didn't have anything to say, then I might just share something, that I had written before. Just trying not to get so rigid in those
Yeah.
things. Yeah. What about you? Do you how do you do that?
Well, I have a very detailed what is the marinating process for my work. So I come up with lots and lots of ideas, and so I'm constantly putting those in notes on my phone or
Yep.
into Notion on my laptop, or I grab a notebook and I write them down,
Mhm.
and then they go through like a process in my writing where they'll sit in the notebook or wherever they are for a
Yeah.
while,
Yeah.
and then I'll take them to a, like, written draft, and then they'll sit there for a while, and then after that, then I'll take them through to, like, a finished post, and then I'll kinda look at my schedule and look at what my goals are for that month or that season
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what fits into that schedule. So I have it's it's fully based on what I'm interested in at the time and,
Mhm.
like, my creative
Mhm.
I don't wanna use the word vibes, but, like, my creative
Yeah.
vibes at the time, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
my
Right.
creative, leanings at that moment and what I'm interested in doing that day,
Yeah.
but it's a very long marinating process.
Yeah. I like how you say that, marinating. That's great.
Yeah,
That's a good word for it. Yeah.
yeah, because I find that I need some time between each of the processes to be able to
Mhm.
understand how I think or feel about it or, to make sure that my wording is the way that I want it to sound or
Mhm.
whatever. I still end up making grammatical errors, but I
Oh,
figure
well,
that just makes people know that
you're
I'm the
not
one writing
AI.
it, not AI, right?
That's right.
It's
That's right.
me. I'm a human.
That's right. That's
So,
right. I love that. I love that.
But yeah, it's the creative life is so interesting because it can change and shift in
Mhm,
different seasons,
mhm.
and then, like,
Yes.
I have found that I'm better at some things now, but I'm
Mhm.
worse at others that I used to be better at.
Yeah, well, I think that's just the life seasons. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I used to be a lot better at planning everything out, and I would have, like basically, I would give myself, like, marching orders that I would be
Yeah.
following, and,
Yeah.
um, I have a trouble doing that now. It feels
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
rigid. So
Yes, same. Yeah, I don't wanna give myself those marching orders, as you say. I
Mhm.
chose for this year, my word of the year is surrender, and so
Oh,
I'm kind of just surrendering even my creativity, in that. I'm not putting the pressure on. If God wants to use it, and how God wants to use it, my writing, my art, I'm surrendering more of that. I'm not the being hard and fast on everything.
yeah. So does that look like having different expectations
Mhm.
or
Yes, because I tend to be
different
like a
things?
perfectionist.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm,
Um, if I like that moon painting that we talked about, like, it was just a simple painting. It wasn't that didn't really take me very long.
dogs are being loud.
Yeah, "Oh, hi." It didn't take me very long, and it wasn't finished to the, perfectionist level, but
Mhm.
it got my vision across, and I was
Mhm.
happy with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Um, so what is some encouragement that you would give to someone who wants to step into the creative life a little bit more fully, or maybe they're starting, like, their own personal curriculum or their own, like, list of, "These are some things that I wanna do." What would you say? How would you encourage them?
To try it, and just start and just try it, and then if you need to tweak, along the way, then tweak it. See if it's bringing you joy.
Mhm,
And, if it's not, maybe switch, do something else, but I would say just start and just try
mhm,
without, having a lot of pressure.
mhm. I love that. That's cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to share
Um,
with our group?
oh, well, let's see, I'm looking at some notes. You talked about being a lifelong learner, kinda circling back, but,
Yeah.
and homeschooling back in the day. The more you learn, the more you realize that there is to learn,
Mhm.
you know? And it's
Yeah.
like you can't ever outlearn something. You'll find out that there's more to that subject to learn about. So,
Mhm.
keep learning because there's going to be more out there. And even now, what are they saying? Longevity stories are studies are telling us that we need to be lifelong learners, never quit learning.
Yeah.
An instrument, a language, writing, your personal curriculum, picking a subject and learning about something, is
Mhm.
great for us.
Yeah.
So,
And I think it makes us more interesting people.
mhm.
Like, when we talk to
Yes.
our adult kids,
Yes.
we actually have things to talk about. We
Right.
actually have things that are interesting to say, you know?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I do. I feel that way with our traveling. Our traveling is giving us different experiences. I feel like we our goal is to hit all 50 states, and then we'll start working on some European countries. But and I just feel like, if someone mentions, "Oh, they're going here on vacation," or, "Does anybody have recommendations for something that I see in such and such a state?" I feel like I have something to offer. "Oh, you're going to this city? Well, oh, you gotta try this restaurant," or, something like that. So it's kind of fun.
That is fun. I always, enjoy sharing what I'm learning, and then it sparks my college kids to, like, tell me what they're working on or what they're
Ah.
learning, and, um, I don't know, they see me as more of a well-rounded person that way, you know?
Mm, I like that.
I
I
have
like
more than just one dimension now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I like that. Um, I think I think that I think God loves it when we delight in His creation,
Mhm.
and, I know I'll tell a little story here. This was a few years ago. I was out with my brother and his family and my husband, and we were all it was evening, and it was dark, and we were all out in the, Grand Teton National Park, and we were in this parking lot. There were other cars around, but we were all wanting to listen to the elk bugle, and it was a beautiful night. And, off in the distance and sometimes even kinda close, you could hear the elk bugling. And it was a cool night, it was clear, the stars were twinkling, I think there was, like, even a moon in the sky, I don't know what size it was or anything, I don't think it was a full moon, but, um and it was just a beautiful, breathtaking night, and we're all sitting there, my niece is saying, "Oh, isn't this beautiful?" And then we'd all get excited when we heard an elk bugle, and I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, I think God just takes such delight when we take delight in what He's created for us, you know?
Mhm.
So, I think that's the coolest,
Yeah. And I've found, like, with homeschooling,
Mm.
learning all of the layers of how things are connected in nature and
Yes.
in our world, and,
Yes.
like, I would immediately want to research why the elk is making that noise, and what does that
Mhm.
mean, and how does that affect other things, and, like,
Yeah.
my scientist kids would get very involved in, like, what is the vocal cords? How do the
Yeah.
vocal work, and
Yeah.
what is required from the elk to be able to do that, and what is the
Yeah.
lung capacity that it has to hold, like, we get very nerdy in our house.
That's okay, I love it. I love, love, love it. Yes. Yes.
So, I find that when I travel or when I experience things in nature or whatever, it just pushes my creativity even further. I want
Mhm.
to learn more
Yeah.
about, and I may not
Yeah.
ever write a post about elk
Yeah.
in the,
Yeah. Right.
but
Well, you're
there's that,
curious. Yeah.
yeah, there's, like, that curiosity that
Yep.
comes through in what I'm learning about and what I'm reading, and
Yes.
it's
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I can nerd out on things too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this quote, and I think it came from one of the books I read from Ian Morgan Crone years ago, but, he says, "We're most like our creator when we create." And I thought that was so neat. So neat.
Mhm. Yeah, there's, like, a zone that you can go into when you're in creative work.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just so encompassing,
I
and it's childlike because you're just so in that moment and you're
yeah.
so focused on what you're doing.
Yeah, I lose sense of time, and so when
Mhm.
that happens, I know that I'm in my passion with my painting and even my writing. I'll look up and it'll be 2 hours later, and I'll be like, "Okay, that wasn't work, that wasn't dread at all, that was just I could do this all the day," you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love those moments when, you're doing something creative and then you walk away feeling refreshed by it
Yes.
versus, like, sitting and
Energized.
writing a bunch of emails in
Oh,
response to whatever
yeah.
thing you have to deal with. Like, it's a totally different feeling, even though both of those things I'm typing on a keyboard. It's,
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah.
a
2
very
d
different experience.
That's right, 2 totally different things, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's cool. Well, I am so excited to get to chat with you today. I wanna
Thank you,
keep
I
this nice
love chatting
and
with you.
short for all of our subscribers. So,
Yeah.
but I'm really glad that we got to talk about creativity and learning, and I look forward to more collaborations with you in the future, Brooke.
Thank you, April. You're a doll. I appreciate you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye, April.